What's up, everyone? All right, so yesterday was the biggest green day of the entire year, and guess what today is? The biggest red day. Well, almost. I had the biggest single loss of the entire year this morning. In fact, I hit my max loss. I went below my max loss. And you know what time it was? 7:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 minutes into the day, I'm down big. We're gonna go over all these trades today, but I had to make a calculated decision. It's 7:05, what do I do? Do I stop? Do I keep trading? I did keep trading, and I was able to trim the loss down, but it's still a red day. It's still a max loss red day. And I'll walk you through the process of how I was able to recover and what my decision making was that led me to continue to trade in spite of hitting max loss. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's start with first trade of the day. And in fact, one of the stocks I made the most on, BTCT. So BTCT, this is the stock that I crushed yesterday. And so after yesterday's super hot day, biggest green day of the year, I came in today swinging hard. I stepped up to the plate. First trade, BTCT, 10,000 shares, and made 10,000 bucks on the first trade. So let's look at this chart. BTCT, this is the stock that squeezed up. This is now the third day of continuation, which, really nice day here, pulled back, really nice move here, pulled back, and really nice move right here. But I didn't make as much on it as I coulda, woulda, shoulda, and I'll explain why. So first trade for me was right at 7 a.m. here. It popped up to a high of 21.75, and I bought this pullback right here. And on this move, I locked up, first trade was $10,000 of profit as it squeezed up right there. So it ends up hitting a high of 25, but you know what? Right at $25, there was a hidden seller. There was a hidden seller at 25, and I was feeling pretty confident. So I thought, well, you know what? Someone's selling shares here at 25, but I'm in the market to buy shares. I think this thing is going to go higher. In fact, I think it's going to break through 26, yesterday's high. So I started adding at 25, but it didn't break. The seller was bigger than I was willing to buy. They had more shares than I wanted. And so it ends up dropping back down, and it kind of does a little bit of a jackknife here. It drops all the way down to 23.50, bounces back up to 25, pulls back, and I ended up stopping out of that second trade on BTCT for a loss. So 2 trades into the day, 1 green, 1 red. I'm still in the green on BTCT, but another stock hits my scanner, and this is where things went wrong, and it happened fast. TRNR. TRNR hits my scanner. I pull up the chart, and I immediately see 2 things. Number 1, this is a stock that was on my watch list from yesterday. It was on my watch list yesterday because it was gapping up a little bit, and I noted recent reverse split, super low float. This is something I should pay attention to. The problem yesterday, there was no news on it. So I thought, well, if there's no news, I probably won't trade it. So this morning, when it starts spiking up, I jumped in immediately. I'd say I gave into FOMO. I had a little bit of FOMO. I had just taken a little bit of a loss on BTCT, and I came back swinging. I jumped in full size, adding at $7, $8, and $9 a share. And well, the chart speaks for itself. You could see what happened. It went from 650 to 7. I didn't get in until way up here. So I'm adding at 8, 850, and 9. It hits a high of 950, and it dumps all the way back to $6.50. And I stopped out as it was going way down here. The problem was I was getting horrible slippage on my exit. So, I mean, it was unbelievable. In an instant, I lost $25,000. Boom. That's my P&L for today. Lost $24,345.58 on TRNR, and it happened in 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. Biggest loss of the whole year. Momentary lapse of judgment, taking that much size, chasing, giving into FOMO. Sure, you could say that. And I'll also say that it's not uncommon for big red days to come right after big green days. In fact, my biggest green day of all time in January of 2021 made almost $500,000 in one day. Less than a week later, the biggest red day of my entire career, down almost $300,000 in one day. And actually, that puts this in perspective. Losing 300,000 in one day, I've been through that. Being down 11,000 today, even being down 25,000, I can stomach that. I can recover from it. I mean, I know I can. It's not a question of if. It's just, how many days is it going to take? But this was sort of my reality this morning. I'm now down on the day. I'm in the red, and I'm below my max loss. My max loss I have set at minus $7,500. So I generally say my daily max loss is $5,000, but I actually have a cap on my account at 7,500. If my account is down P&L below 7,500, I cannot take any more trades. So you know what I did? I picked up my phone. I called Lightspeed. I said, hey, you know who this is. Increase my max loss, move it up, 25 grand, move it up. And, I hate doing that. I don't like doing that. But here was the decision here was my thought process for doing that. So it's important to have a max loss. It's important to have a line in the sand where you're like, that's it, I'm done, I'm going to walk away. And if I had taken that trade at 10:30 or 11 a.m., I would have walked away. Because at that point in the day, my chance of recovering the loss is basically non-existent. I'm not going to recover that kind of loss at 11 a.m. How do I know that? I know my metrics, I know my strategy, and I know that when I'm trading, I make the most money between the hours generally of, at this point, 7 and 11 a.m. So if I take a huge loss here at 11, there's really no hope for recovery. I'm going to just give up and try again. But taking a huge loss at the beginning of my window, that puts me in quite the predicament. The question is, if I keep trading, can I remain calm, cool, and collected? Or am I going to get emotionally hijacked? Am I going to take a lot of risk? Am I going to do stupid stuff? Because I know that when I trade past my max loss, I have an 80% chance of doubling the loss. And I didn't want to go down $40,000 today. I didn't want to go that red on the day. Nobody does. But it was early. And so I thought for a little bit, and I actually did a meditation. I did a discipline and patience guided meditation on YouTube. And I breathed, and I tried to do an assessment of, can I continue to trade? Am I going to be able to be focused and to make good decisions and to respect the risk that I have, that if I continue trading, I could go further into the red, which would, of course, only in theory, make me more angry. And I made the decision that I could. And so I called up Lightspeed. I increased my max loss. And while I was doing that, BTCT ended up squeezing through $25 a share. It broke through 25. It actually went all the way up to $28. And this kind of annoys me because, I missed this move right here. And I feel like had I not had that max loss on my account where I had to make a call and this and that, I probably would have traded that. In fact, I probably would have had a really, really great trade on that. That was breaking through yesterday's high of 26.58. But, I wasn't able to get that trade. So felt a little disappointed about that. But we did end up having some other stocks I traded. Now you'll see I'm red $11,736 on BTCS, but I'm green 13,000 on UAVS. And so thanks to the winners really on UAVS and the trades, I guess, the profit on BTCT, which I already had, I was able to soften the blow of today, which is good. I mean, it could have been worse, and I did have a good recovery. So the disappointing thing on BTCS was that I had missed out on this trade on BTCT. I get confused. And then I jumped in BTCS as it came up here to $6, and this did a jackknife on me. And it drops all the way down on 600,000 shares of volume, and I got stopped out there for a big loss. I was adding for the break of 6. It breaks 6. I'm holding full position. I add as it squeezes higher, and then knife straight down. UAVS was my recovery today. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for UAVS. We'd be lost without it, at least today. So UAVS initially pops up to 240. It pulls back. It goes up to 260. I don't care about it. In this area, I'm thinking, I don't know. It's nothing. But as it starts to come back up here, I did take this trade as it breaks back over VWAP, and it squeezes back up to 240. It does a micro pullback here, goes up to 280, does another pullback, goes up to 3. At that point, I connected these two highs, and we got this ascending resistance line, which remained in play for the rest of the morning. It pulled back. We got a bounce off VWAP, got another trade on it coming back up, and I just kept chipping away. I'll be honest, this never really pulled away. It had a couple of big green candles, but it didn't go parabolic, but it was trading in a thickly enough and in a predictable enough range that I was able to capture some profit on it. So UAVS, it ended up going up to a high of $5. It broke over this resistance line, and I thought maybe we were going to pull away, but it just couldn't really pull away the way I hoped it would, which was a little disappointing. I got a little trade on KXIN. This one had news out this morning. Got a little dip in this area. News about Wade's acquisition of controlling equity interests in a crypto mining firm. All right, so now we're seeing the Bitcoin headlines coming out. I had the chart up on Bitcoin and was hoping, as I was looking at it here, that Bitcoin might break through and rally up here, because that would have really helped the Bitcoin sympathy plays. But alas, that was not in the cards for today, and it dropped. So, we'll keep the Bitcoin chart up in case we do see, for when we see, I guess it's just, at some point, another rally back up to see if that gives us sympathy in some of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin stocks, which typically I don't like trading, and maybe I'll revert to that opinion. But of course, it did give me my biggest green day yesterday. So KXIN was on the scans. GXAI was on the scans. Only made $500 on GXAI. I just wasn't really able to get in the driver's seat on it. And so the issue today really was, I kind of thought, well, look, yesterday I was up 100,000. If I'd given back 25,000 or 20,000 off the top yesterday and finished up 75 or 80, still would have been an awesome day. In fact, I had a day earlier this year where I was up 125,000, but I finished at like 96,000 in my Lightspeed account. I think I was at like 104 with my Thinkorswim account combined. But anyways, doesn't matter. I had a day earlier this year where I did give back 25,000 off the top, and it was water under the bridge. It's like, it is what it is. And the next day, it was just back at it. So if yesterday and today I thought of as one, continuous day, then it's actually a lot easier to sort of tolerate the loss, because it's in perspective of, well, I've been on a really nice hot streak, and, I'm still net green over the last 2 days. In fact, I never actually imported yesterday's trades into TraderView yet, which is kind of nice, because if I had, I would have kind of a high watermark. It would be like I'm up whatever on the month and the year. But since I didn't import them, I'll import yesterday and today tomorrow. I'll do it at the same time. So I guess it'll still show that I peaked, and then pulled back a little bit. But it's a little easier to tolerate, at least for me. So. But for all of you guys, you should be able to look at your metrics from the last 60 days, last 90 days, if you're practicing in the simulator, and say, look, you know what? Okay, I had a red day, but I'm still the trader who did this. I know what I'm doing. I just need to go back to basics. I need to slow down a little bit. I don't want to put together a string of back-to-back red days. So, coming into tomorrow, take it a little easy, focus on building the cushion. And look, if you could build a cushion and, immediately you're in the driver's seat, then life is good. It's all fine, and I'll size up. And that could certainly happen tomorrow. First trade, BTCT, I was in the driver's seat. TRNR, took too much risk. BTCS, well, would have given back what I made on BTCT, which would have put me back to break even on the day. And then I still had these trades. So even if I had missed this one trade, which would have made a huge difference, it would be a green day. It'd be a small green day. Well, twice the daily goal, $10,000. But, I'd be in much better place, and I wouldn't be thinking tomorrow that I need to size down or be conservative. It's really just one trade that sort of threw everything off today, which is never good to empower one trade with that kind of share size. It can really ruin your day or your week. And that was a mistake. It was. I took too much size. I really didn't look closely enough at the total volume on it. I just saw it was ripping. I didn't want to miss it. I jumped in. I gave into FOMO. And next thing you know, it flushed, and I had to bail out, and there was nothing I could do other than take the loss, which was the right move. I mean, I suppose I could have held it and hoped it would recover, but I don't do that. I take the loss and I move on. And for those of you yesterday watching the recaps saying, Ross only does the recaps on his green days, I do the recaps every day. Every single day this year has had a recap. So whether it's a green day or a red day, today I had the biggest red trade of the entire year. And I'm fortunate that it's not the biggest red day of the year. It was, but I was able to cut that loss in half. And that was a pretty good recovery. And if we had had a couple more decent trades, I would have gotten back to green. But here's what I know. There will be a couple more good trades for me. Over the next 10 trades, I probably will make $15,000, $20,000. But those trades, they're not going to happen today. I just got to wait till tomorrow. But I will recover this loss. I will get myself back to all-time highs in my account, and I will regain my confidence, most likely over the next 10 trades. I just have to accept that they're not going to happen today. Not if I'm going to be disciplined about focusing on A-quality setups and trading during the time of day when I have the highest likelihood of making money, right? Like I said, I could sit here until 4 o'clock or wait till after hours. And if I do that, statistically, I'm trading at a time of day where I'm just going to lose more. If there was ever a day to trade longer, it's not the day where you have your biggest loss of the entire year. That's the day to get out and be grateful it's not worse than it is. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the loss. It's humbling. It's disappointing, but this is trading. Easy come, easy go. I tell you guys this all the time. You just got to roll with the punches, go with the flow. And today I got on the wrong side of a couple trades, and I'm bummed out about that. The P&L, the numbers are big. $35,000 in losers here today, about $25,000 in winners, down $11,318. The total number, not as big as some of my other red days this year, but these are all big trades. And it just, the wind wasn't at my back today. I had a headwind. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. I thought after yesterday we'd have, some really good action today, but well, I guess, in a way we did. I just had one really bad trade. And BTCS, well, I had two bad trades. So BTCS, is there anything I could read into about this one? It's a Bitcoin sympathy stock, same as BTCT. I don't know. It's a 9 million share float. It's not easy to borrow. It was pretty thickly traded this morning. Those aren't always the easiest to trade. I don't know. It was sort of sympathy to BTCT, which was pulling back at the time. Maybe that divergence wasn't helping. The overall price of Bitcoin was still holding up at the time when I took the trade. So I don't know. Maybe just, I'm not really sure, to be honest. But so would I take that same trade if I saw it tomorrow? Maybe, maybe I would. But I'm going to have to just trade with smaller sizes as I build my cushion so I don't have a second big red day, if I can help it. And look, I might have a red day tomorrow, but if I'm trading with smaller size, then, it'll hopefully be more within my, more within my typical size red day. So that's it for me. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you, as always, remember that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk, take it slow. And if you enjoyed this episode, I hope you hit the thumbs up. I hope you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for my next upload real soon. And of course, I'll be live streaming tomorrow morning for members at Warrior Trading. So I'll see you guys bright and early. All right, have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you in the morning.